I always get excited whenever I see a report of an actor, actress, studio, or something responding to the criticism of their product. And, well, this is no exception. In this article from Direct, Don Cheadle reacts to criticism about the MCU's downfall. Now, what do you think he's going to have to say? Let's find out together, boys and girls. Don Cheadle has reacted to criticism of the MCU and its supposed recent downfall following Rhodey's Skrull reveal in Disney's Secret Invasion. In the post-Avengers Endgame world, fans have been more critical of the MCU. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because, I don't know, the quality of writing has gone into a downward spiral that cannot be recovered from? Could that be a possibility? Maybe it's the continuous insulting and degrading of the fans' opinions of it, constantly insulting the fans, calling them istophobes of all manner. You think maybe that could be the downfall? Who knows? I bet they're going to blame somebody else. What's the over and under on that one? What do you think? Between the CGI, which is piss poor, the writing, which has definitely fallen along the wayside, absence of original heroes, well, that's across the board. Original heroes, original stories, it's very lacking. And then when you have someone like Echo who is being pushed and they realize how much of a dumpster fire that show is going to be, so they're going to drop it all at one time during a writer's strike when there's nothing new. That's probably nothing new that's going to come out for the next couple of years. They're just going to drop it all at once on Disney Plus instead of using the weekly model. Let's see. Absence of original heroes, massive content output, quantity over quality, ladies and gentlemen. Quantity over quality. Handling of the Disney Plus series and the mixed interest. People are tired of the multiverse. Of the multiverse saga. The idea that we're going to kill off this character, but we're going to bring him back because it's from another dimension. They're from an alternate timeline, even though before Kang died, he did away with all that stuff. So how are they all coming into fruition the way they are? Don Cheadle throws shade at the MCU? Really? Following the release of Secret Invasion Episode 4, War Machine actor Don Cheadle liked a tweet that appeared to criticize the MCU. Oh, really? Oh dear, because he liked the tweet, he means he agrees with it wholeheartedly. 100% must cancel him! Cancel him before he gets too far. That was a little dramatic, I know. Referencing the apparent downfall of the franchise's popularity and interest over the last few years. Post came from Philippa, this guy, this user right there. I hope you can see it because, yeah. Filippo. We'll go with Filippo, who, quote, retweeted a clip of Rhodey's Skrull imposter reveal at the end of episode 7. At the end of episode, with the caption, 7 years ago, people would have gone crazy for this reveal, by the way. Yes, the lack of interest, and Scrotum, Rhodey, the actor Don Cheadle, liking the tweet, that's what he liked? Okay. 7 years ago, people would have gone crazy. The idea that Rhodey is a Skrull, people are mentioning that it destroys his character. He loses this, he loses that. He doesn't know that Tony Stark is dead. I saw another interesting tweet follow up that I have to agree with. The Skrull saga, the Secret Invasion, Secret Wars, the most recent one with all the Skrulls, all the superheroes were being impersonated by Skrulls. That was the kind of storyline that was in the comics. If you're overly critical of Rhodey being a Skrull for 7 years, 10 years, 15 years, however long it's been, then you'd have had some emotional damage during the comic book run. Because that was the whole point of the story. All these characters that you knew and loved and had grown with were impersonated by Skrulls. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my understanding. For context as to where the MCU was 7 years ago, goes back to 2016 when the franchise was arguably at its prime. There's no argument to be said about it. It was at its prime with Captain America Civil War and Doctor Strange. I enjoyed the first Doctor Strange. Although it's unclear the exact meaning behind the original post, people would have loved it. It would have been far more interesting. That was a mistake. Let's get back to the article. Blah, 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 blah. Unclear. That's not really unclear. It appears the user is implying interest in MCU projects was higher 7 years ago. Absolutely 100%. You're going to get a rude awakening this November when the Marvels releases, and it tanks. The box office for one Marvel product after another has been on a steady decline, whether it is lack of interest in the superhero genre or tired of the bad writing, the lack of continuity, the canon breaking events. People are fed up with it. They're losing interest in moving on to something else. Maybe if you spent more time on quality over quantity, maybe a few less Disney Plus shows that people have to watch if they want to know what's going on in the next movie. In case you didn't know, if you want to have any idea of what's going on in the Marvels, you have to watch Miss Marvel on Disney Plus, WandaVision on Disney Plus, maybe Loki, it wouldn't be surprised, on Disney Plus, Secret Invasion on Disney Plus. Not everyone has Disney Plus, not everyone is interested, and not everyone has time to sit down and watch 6, 10, 12 episodes of a show just to have any idea of what's going on in the next movie that they're interested in. That's why everything, the phase 1, 2, and 3 of Marvel were far better because, well, I'm pretty sure there was some sort of relative plan of what they wanted to do, what the end game, so to speak, pun intended, was going to be. And the writing was better. The performances were better. The CGI was definitely better. The planning, all around, the planning was better. Although, if you look at the Iron Man behind the scenes, there was no planning whatsoever. That was a one-off, a drop in the bucket. That was a once-in-a-lifetime accomplishment for them. And apparently Disney and Marvel and all these other production studios felt like, oh, we can just do that every time with rewrites at the 11th hour. If you heard about Multiverse of Madness, rewrites, 11 days. 11 days, 2 weeks to write a new script for that movie, and it shows. And I lost my place. Although it's unclear, yes. Perhaps the biggest game changer to come out of Secret Invasion, other than the girl boss at the end, who is the bestest ever, and the most powerful character in the MCU, was the reveal that Cheadle's James Rhodes, a.k.a. War Machine, had been replaced by a Skrull, seemingly since Captain America Civil War. Yes, that is a massive reveal that nobody really cares about. That's the unfortunate part. No one's concerned. No one's bothering. Cheadle already spoke on the Skrull twist shortly after the series wrapped up, sharing how it was fun to fold that in and show what's happening underneath. Maybe if that was planned back at Civil War and there were hints here and there that something was amiss. That's I don't want to say the only way that can work, but it's the best way. Makes it more understandable and reasonable that, oh, all of a sudden, well, Rhodey being revealed as a Skrull, all of a sudden, other things make sense. His behavior, his actions, if it was planned ahead. But again, Disney, Marvel, all, Kevin Feige, they don't know how to plan ahead, it seems. Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige also told, let's see what this wonderful person has to say, told the official Marvel site how Cheadle was on board with Rhodey becoming a Skrull. We needed to have a character that one would not expect to be a Skrull. Of course you're not expecting it because it wasn't written into the previous movies. Ever. It was never hinted at, not even in the ever most slightest of ways. That's not good writing. That's piss poor planning. Don Cheadle was on board for this reveal of playing and revealing another side of Rhodey, really, and revealing that, yes, Rhodey has been a Skrull. Did Don Cheadle mean to roast the MCU? Because wait, is that a roast? This is supposed to be a roast on the MCU because he liked a tweet? Now, that's a bit of a far reach, but hey, it gets us talking about stuff, doesn't it? Don Cheadle's voice of support for such a blatantly anti-MCU message. No, MCU message. I don't think this is... Would you consider this an anti-MCU message? 7 years ago, people would have gone crazy. It would have been more well-received because, number one, there were more people paying attention to Marvel, Disney Marvel. There were more people going to the theaters, more people watching, more people enthralled where the story was going. So, yes, it would have been more well-received. But to say that it's a roast, I don't know. I can't agree with that one. Chances are, but we're going to, they're going to try to, I don't know what they're going to try to do. Hold on. There's a word there that I can't think of, but you should be used to that by now. Chances are Cheadle either misunderstood the meaning behind the tweet or liked it by accident, so they're making excuses to defend him. I think that's what I was trying to say. And it seems unlikely the actor would so openly acknowledge a post intended to be critical of the MCU as long as he remains part of it. Wow, you are reaching. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think this tweet is overly critical. It's just saying that 7 years ago, it would have been a different reaction as compared to now. Is it because of the fans? Is it because of the writing? We leave that up to interpretation, and definitely the direct is interpreting in a very particular way. But at the end of the article, by all accounts, it appears Cheadle gave his all to Secret Invasion, crafting Rhodey's big Skrull twist in a way that fits his character. Well, we'll see. What do you think about Don Cheadle, about Rhodey being a Skrull? Are you irritated, upset, or do you realize that, do you think it destroys his character moving forward? I don't think it does. I think it adds a few twists to the story that the likelihood that they will be addressed in a competent, coherent, and satisfying manner, I doubt it. I don't see that happening because this is, again, Disney, Marvel, and they've been on a downslide for quite a few years. But let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike. I appreciate you making it this far. Let's get my sorry little butt to 1,000. Have a good one.